Welcome to the Esnyder Project podcast, where we aim to add value to people worldwide. We are thrilled that you've joined us for another great episode focused on learning and self-improvement. For more information, please visit theesnyderproject.com. Now our host, Ed Snyder.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to what is now being called the Ed Snyder Project podcast. On a name change, we're excited about what that means. And so it's a long overdue podcast. We have heard you. You have been contacting us. When are you going to get back? When are you going to get back? Well, we are back, and we have so much to share with you. So stay close, get a cup of coffee, get something to take some notes with. We'll be right back. So have I got some kind of story to tell you? Again, welcome back, and we truly appreciate your patience and all your inquiries about where the podcast is. When's the podcast going to return? And that really made us feel very, very good. Another question is, why did we disappear? Now, that's a short question, 4 words, but I've got a long answer, and here we go. So, we are celebrating our 10th year in Irving by coming and becoming pastor of Solid Rock Church. Of course, when we came here, this church really, God has brought it back from the ashes. It was just a handful of people and a pretty bleak situation. So I had to go to work, and I worked Starbucks. I worked at Workforce Solutions of Greater Dallas, and then wound up at Dallas College. I've been working full time for the college for the last 7 years. And of course, in that last 7 years, as most of you know, we wrote a book, and we have been doing a lot of great things and trying to grow this church. And not trying, we have been growing the church with God's help, of course. So the full-time job, and of course, if anybody out there has ever worked at a community college, you know what kind of task that is. Plus growing the church, plus trying to launch the Ed Snyder Project, and I'm going to go into a little depth of what that is and what that means. And then the podcast and writing the book and interviews and all of that. It's great. It's fun. And I have enjoyed every minute of it, but time just got away. It just caved in. And so the pressure on the job at the college was demanding, to say the least. And so after 7 years at the college, our church is really turning a corner, growing, and the book is doing great, and just a lot of other things, again, that we'll get into. But through much prayer and fasting and discussing what do we need to do with our family. And of course, my family almost did an intervention with me. He says, Dad, something's got to give. You got to change things and all of that. So I decided to take a very large step of faith and walk away from the college and give my time to what I have called the big 3. Okay. My focus now is the big 3. 1, growing Solid Rock Church. Number 2 is launching and growing the Ed Snyder Project, which is basically is our book publishing, online learning, the podcast, and of course, in-person, and as well as the online learning, in-person training. And then the third thing is that I wanted to help my son scale his brand new business to something that will sustain him for the years to come. Several months ago, he has started Durwood's Automotive and Repair, which is a mobile mechanic business that is just going out the roof. He has locked in now 7 contracts with companies to service their fleets. Probably 700 and something trucks. And when I mentioned that I was considering leaving the college, he's like, Dad, I need help. I need help with processes. I need help with that side of the business. And of course, Durwood's is my dad's name. He named his business after his grandfather. And so I wanted to help him scale this, organize it, get the processes down so it will last a long time. I am very thankful for what God is doing since my stepping out on faith in April by leaving the college. Our church has grown. Our current members are growing in their relationship with God. New people are receiving the Holy Ghost and getting baptized. In fact, one of our brand new young people got the Holy Ghost last Sunday in our service. Our youth are growing. Our children are growing. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And when I made the announcement, one of our ministers here on our team said, "Pastor, I would like to spearhead a little faith promised fund to help you with your replacement of your income." So, and of course, I felt good about that. And so the church is pitching in a little extra to help us financially. It's a multi-stream income type thing that we're stepping out on. So the church actually stood and applauded when we announced that I'm leaving the college to devote more time to the church and these other projects. And so that is a great thing. And then we have the Esnyder Project. Now, folks, if you know me, you know me. I'm not one that puts myself out there. I'm not one that I'm old school. I was brought up that you don't use your name, you do the humble route and all of that. So it took me a while to get my head around, understand what younger guys around me on my team was proposing, the Esnyder Project. People I respected, are not respected as in past tense, but respect and love told me it's okay. It's okay, because what they had to do was teach me that because I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, of course, I'm a pastor above and beyond everything else. I'm the brand. And so again, it took me a little bit to get around that. And I finally made the switch. And of course, everyone was very kind in their conversations with me and said, young ministers want to hear from you. So I went with it. Now, what exactly is the Esnyder Project? The Esnyder Project we have created a place where people can come and receive, hopefully, in their minds, great content that's going to bless them in their relationship with God, in their relationships with their family, and of course, in other areas. As you may know, Gail and I have written a book called Control the Beast, A Guide to Manage Your Emotions. And we're really specializing in that area, which is basically emotional intelligence. We're starting to travel to different churches and teach on the subject for a couple of evenings. Pastor Matt Sams in Detroit had me come up for three nights and then preach on Sunday. And he turned around and said, "I want you back in 2025. I want you here for a week. Every night, I want you to meet with small groups because you've got a whole lot more in you in this area that our people need to hear." And so I'm putting that out there. If you're listening to this podcast and you're a pastor or somebody in some kind of authoritative position and would like to have me come in, I'll be happy to do that in teaching Control the Beast, emotional intelligence, and all that. It's a great outreach for churches to host one of these events and invite the community. So again, that's good stuff. We have also, in our break that we took from the podcast, became and joined the John Maxwell Certified Leadership Team. And so now John Maxwell is one of my favorite authors. I've got most of his books. I'm still a few shy. So I've read a lot of his material. I listened to his podcast. He's just down to earth and I love his leadership style. So, we're now certified in that area. So we offer a variety of leadership training, personal growth training, and my favorite is Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. It's a great seminar that we're putting out there. So we got some big news, very big news. We're so excited about this. We have developed a Control the Beast online learning course for individuals as well as small groups. It's a video course. So I teach about 20 to 25 minutes I think it's around 13 or 14 lessons. And our editing team is finishing up the edits on the handouts. So when you receive the Control the Beast online learning course, you're not only going to get the videos of me teaching, but also be able to download a lesson, of course, a fill-in-the-blank lesson deal. And, of course, there'll be a teacher's deal with it as well. They're almost finished. They're somewhere in the neighborhood of lesson 12 of the 14, and that will be published very, very soon. Okay, so again, keep your ears and eyes peeled on social media, and as well as our mailing list, email list. Bigger news. My publisher has met with me and started knocking on the door pretty hard and said, Ed, we need a sequel to Control the Beast. And he said, I got just the title for you. So we are beginning with the research and writing the sequel to Control the Beast. And the title is Release the Beast. Control the Beast is working on the negative side of your life. It's pulling all the negativity out, helping you get your emotions under control, understanding the mechanics of emotions, 9 levels of relationships and how to handle toxic relationships, rebuilding your self-esteem, on and on and on. My publisher said, Ed, we need something now to take them to the next level. So release the beast. Now you need to put them in beast mode and get them going on the positive side to become successful and accomplish from in their life. And so Gail and I are very, very excited about this. We are starting the research and starting the writing on that project. Even more news. We have been writing another book in the process of all of this, and that is a book that we've entitled Heal America 714. Now, this book is based on an 8-week sermon and teaching series that God gave me when I was in the hospital, extremely sick, couple breaths away from a ventilator, with COVID. And of course, I was isolated. Nobody can see me. The nurse would come in, of course, and take care of meds and all that. They managed to get my computer to me, and I, of course, sitting around there all day, prayed a lot, and God began to speak to me and spoke to me 8 sermons, and off of those, I built out 8 lessons for our midweek on 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 14. I taught it. The church was blessed by it, and we're just thankful. I filed it away, and then months and months and months later, God brought that back around to my memory and spoke to me about putting a book together called Heal America 714. So again, we're about halfway through the writing and the editing of that. That will publish before Release the Beast. And so again, keep your eye out. In fact, if you go to our website, theesnyderproject.com, you can pre-order that book right now. In fact, you can also pre-order the Control the Beast online learning course right now. So as time progresses, we'll be offering more books, more online learning experiences for you to enjoy. We'll also be developing all of our leadership and personal growth seminars that we do through being on the Maxwell team. And hopefully that it will bless your life, both in a spiritual way with God, as well as just in your secular life, on your job or whatever. And so again, this is kind of where we've been, and I've got a lot more to share with you. But we've been working on all of this. And of course, time just didn't permit for me to sit down in front of the microphone. Oh, one more thing that I almost forgot. And again, it has been by popular demand that I am in front of the microphone. Chapter 1 is done, producing on Control the Beast audible version. So we'll be publishing the audio version of Control the Beast. So many people have been asking about that, asking for it. When is it going to get done? And so again, we're pretty jazzed about that. So that's the Ed Snyder Project. And since leaving my secular job and stepping out on faith to pastor our church and to develop all this content that we feel like God has put on us and called us to do, it's just gonna take our time. So our focus is now on this. Our focus is on our church, helping Marcus, our son, with his business, as well as the esnyder Project. So here's something that I want to share with you, and I want you to help me pray about it, is that we have to raise multiple streams of income to be able to take care of us in the future. As you know, everybody has to get a paycheck. Somehow, some way, you got to pay the bills. And so, again, our hearts are very excited. We feel like this is the perfect will of God for our lives. And so with that, in the creation of multiple streams of income, part of that is coming from a partnership that we have developed. And I'm sure you've probably already seen a few posts on social media that we've developed a partnership with First Cup Coffee Company out of Pearland, Texas. As many of you know, I am a bit of a coffee freak, and I love this venture that we've entered into with these guys. And let me tell you a little bit about this. In fact, while I'm recording, I'm actually sipping on a cup from the coffee company called the John Hancock coffee. My favorite so far is the Boston Commons coffee. It's just wonderful. It's got a lot of American history, but this coffee company is Christian owned, patriot coffee company that stands for core values, family, and building communities across the nation. It's freshly roasted beans delivered in ground or whole bean texture pods, bulk. There's 11 roast profiles available. It's great. It's sold in 1 pound bags or 16 ounce bags. And most coffee is sold in 8 to 12 ounce bags. So you get 2 ounces of coffee more than you would the average bag of coffee that you get at your grocery store. Here's something else about this coffee. It's shipped within days of being roasted, where the coffee that you get out of that grocery store, it could be sitting on the shelf in a warehouse for 2 years before it gets to the grocery store. So again, within days, and the bag comes with a roasted date. So you'll know exactly when those beans went through the roaster. And so, again, it's just an awesome thing. And here's something else I like about First Cup. You subscribe to it and you save a lot of money. So every month, or you can schedule every 2 months, you can get bags, you can get a box of K-Cups, and all subscriptions get free shipping. There's no contracts. You can cancel anytime. You can change up your subscription like I have. I'm literally going through trying all 11 profiles of the roast. In fact, Saturday, I've got another shipment coming to my house with 2 new flavors. So you choose your flavor, you choose your quantity, you choose your shipping frequency. And here's something else. If you're a light coffee drinker and you only need 1 bag per month, you can save an additional 15% on 2 bags delivered every 60 days, again, plus free shipping. So the pods are hand-filled within days, again, of roasting. You can build a box on the website with multiple flavors. You can build in bulk and say for your business, for your home, or for your church. So I know this sounds like a commercial, but I'm really excited about this venture that we've entered into. So in our show notes, there is a link to the coffee company, firstcup.com/Heal America. Use the discount code TNN23. You will save an additional 10% for the life of your subscription. And again, go to our show notes and grab that link. So another way that you can be a blessing to the esnyder Project and to us personally is that in the show notes, you can also click a link and become a monthly supporter. $10, $15 a month would be a great, great blessing. And so that would be and let me say this, thank you in advance. So here's a little bit about what has been happening with me and my family, Solid Rock and the esnyder Project, that we wanted to share with you of the why, the silence, because I have had some people kind of almost probably a little frustrated with me saying, Brother Snyder, where's the podcast? I listen to it every week. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to disappoint anybody, but now I'm back at the microphone and we're ready to go. So we're back in business. And instead of True North Nation, instead of TNN, we're kind of putting it all under an umbrella. And it's now the Esnyder Project podcast. And we're going to be bringing to you a lot of great content. In fact, we're coming back next week with this series called Humanistic Worldview versus Biblical Worldview. We really need to change the way we see things. I don't need to go into this, but you really get it. You understand the direction our world is going, not just the United States, but our world. Our world has gotten too far into a humanistic worldview. We need to get back to a biblical worldview. So we need to change the way we see things. And for those of you listening here in the United States, what I intend to do is not only educate you and bring your minds and hearts back to where it needs to be so that we can base our decisions and our way of life in a biblical worldview, but we're going to get ready for November. You know, we have a presidential election coming up, and I'm going to be very clear. I want you to listen to me extremely clear right now. I know some of you probably took a breath, maybe reached for the dial to turn us off. I will not tell you who to vote for in this series. I'm going to teach you how to vote. That's the purpose, not just to bring us into a biblical worldview. In other words, we're seeing everything through a biblical perspective. But when we come to election, when we come to voting, we need to look through a biblical worldview versus a humanistic. So we need to get back to that. We need to get back to the basics and live accordingly. So here's something else that I'm getting ready to close out. I normally do 30 minutes, and I'm probably somewhere around 20 minutes right now. But we have a new feature in our show notes. At the top of our show notes is a link where you can text me personally. Now, folks, I've done this podcast for a while. And oh, by the way, this is something else exciting. While we've been off, the podcast has really still been going. We have crossed over 10,000 downloads for our podcast. And that's awesome. That's exciting. So what I want to do in this new round of podcast, I want to hear from you. I want to communicate with the audience. I don't want to just talk to you. And although I know by your feedback, I'm being a huge blessing to you. Thank you for that. But I want to hear what you're thinking. I want to hear what you want to hear. I want to hear responses. I want an interaction or even a relationship with you as my audience. So use that link. It's going to be at the very top of the show notes. It says text the show or something like that. You hit that and you can write a text and I will receive it personally. And of course, we have our social media sites. We are canceling any Facebook pages that says True North Nation, TNN. Everything's going under my Facebook page called The Esnyder Project, and our postings will be there. So let's get some interaction going. Let's talk to each other. If you haven't, sign up for my email list. I've cleaned it. I put an email out there saying, look, if you don't want to get emails from me, that's cool. Unsubscribe. I only lost about 15 subscribers. Everybody else gave us very good. Hey, I'm with you. I stand with you. I want to hear from you. And so again, join our email list. And that's good. So that's it, folks. It's now called the Esnyder Project podcast. I'd appreciate it if you would help me spread the word, get it out on your social media, tell your friends about it. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. Of course, you can get it at the esnyderproject.com. All of your podcast platforms, we are there. So until next Tuesday morning, may God bless you in all that you do and have a great week on purpose.
Thank you for tuning in to the Esnyder Project podcast. We hope you found value in our show and that it makes a positive impact on your life and the lives of those around you. Please help us spread the word by sharing this episode on social media and checking out the links in our show notes to learn more about what we offer and what we can bring into your life. Until next week, have an intentional, amazing week, and may God bless you in all your endeavors.